Hello everyone, Mrhappy here and welcome to Mondays with Mrhappy, aka Mrhappy Mondays, the weekly Q&A show where you ask me questions and I answer them. So this is our first official recording of Mondays with Mrhappy in San Diego. I mean, I'm in Ulda, but I'm in the San Diegan district of Ulda, obviously. So, that's why that's why the camera angle's like a lot different. So the mic is still here. That's probably going to change in the very near future. So just so you know, I may be aware that again, voice is not projecting directly into the microphone, which may mean if I do something like this, or I'm like, like because I can't believe how ridiculous the question is, it might get a little bit lower. I'm also speaking a little lower because I'm actually recording this Monday morning, and it's like 6:50 in the morning, and I can be a little loud, but I still don't want to be super loud. Luckily, windows closed, so I don't have to worry about too much. Anyway, videos for the week, we're gonna do them right here now. Just I guess so I can cover my desk over here on the side, which is ironic because this is again away from the microphone, and it's like let me just put it away from the microphone. So one of those videos is actually a game called Adrift. And actually, no, it's not. No, I've uploaded all my Drift videos, but I never actually made them public. Damn it. So Drift is a game I got to play last week. I did a live stream for it where basically it's a first person experience game where TLDR, you're an astronaut, you're in space, the space station you're on, whatever, something happens to it, it breaks apart, kills everyone, and now you have to find a way out with limited oxygen and a suit that has some mechanisms, but most of them are broken. So it's a very interesting game. I got to play it with the Oculus, and it comes out for Steam and the Oculus today. And if you have an Oculus, I recommend buying it. It's going to be about $20 for about 4 to 5 hours of that gameplay about learning everything. So if you're someone who gets really invested in those stories, pretty solid purchase. Other than that, I'm going to be playing it again today on stream. I'm also going to be giving away a key for it, so keep that in mind as well. But anyway, it's really early in the morning, and I got to get this done before I go live at 9 a.m., so let's get started. Alright, first question. Yo, Hapasaur, I can't think of anything clever to give, despite being so much not my first time asking. So have a gun. That's dangerous. Don't ever give me a gun. But question, recently, it was revealed during the recent live stream for Phantasy Star Online 2 that we'll have a collab with 14. This involves having Odin as a fight and unlikely other things in data mining from once away showed weapons, the relics, in the game file. Like their usual collaborations, this seems big. Assuming it's not brought up during the next live letter, you think it could go both ways, so 14 could get stuff from PSO2? Well, it was brought up in the live letter, so that's actually the way PSO2 operates. They pretty much just do a ton of collaborations and put whatever the hell they want in the game. So my thing was, I was like, 14 could get something. They probably won't anytime soon, and I was correct. The live letter, they said the same thing. Yeah, we would like to do it, but we already have all this other stuff planned out, so we don't know when it's going to happen. So we'd like to try one day. So basically, no, we're probably not going to get anything crazy. Also, what do you think about bringing something? I don't like. See, Phantasy Star Online 2 is built on that, so that's fine. If that's how they built their game, is to basically, take stuff from other games and make it in Phantasy Star Online 2. You know what? As a kid, I always liked that kind of crap. So, good for them. Final Fantasy 14 doesn't work that way. This is a very cohesive world with a very cohesive story and cohesive, elements. As soon as you start taking things that don't belong in Final Fantasy and sticking them in there, you could say this void, oh, I don't know how we got here, kind of thing. But come on, no, I'm not a big fan of the idea for Final Fantasy 14. And how much about the game, heard much about the game series? I know quite a bit about Phantasy Star. I haven't played it. I played the original very loosely. I didn't play Phantasy Star Online 2, but that's what I know about it, and that's what gives me that expectation. All right, next question. Hey, Hap, you may had a similar question, so I have the #1 issue of the Amazing Yarzan Man. No, I want the Amazing Spider-Man. Would it be bad if syncing in the roulettes only applied to equipment and character, but not... Oh, I've been asked this exact question before. No, I don't think it would be that bad. I think it would just suck as a low-level person to be like, all those cool skills. I don't have all those skills. And it also means that people would be twice as pissed if they got a full group of low-level people. But I personally don't see a big issue with it. Guild Wars 2 does it just fine. That's because they give you don't have end-game abilities. You just have end-game talents that change your abilities. So, no, I have no problem with it. And I would like to see it maybe sometime in the future, but I don't think we'll ever see it, to be honest. All right, next question. Hey, Mrhappy, hope you have a nice day. I have 2 questions. I hope you have a nice day. Anyway, That's not the... well, actually, yeah, main story quest spoilers here, so that worked. Remember, when this comes back, that means we're done. Alright, so that also means we don't put it on the screen. So, there we go. Let's see what it says. Main story spoilers question here. Do you think we will have to make the hard decision to kill Estinian to stop Nidhogg or not? I hope we do. We need to kill some people. Like, we as the player need to be put in a predicament where we need to kill an innocent for the greater good, because we have not really been put in that predicament before. So I would like to see us be put in that predicament at least once. And then also, there's an anima question here. Do you really think the next anima step will include customization? We found out at the live letter 3.25 will be the next anima step. However, the 3.3 step is the one that will have customization. And we will not need materia. You will not need Alexandrites. So don't even think about either of those things. Just keep both of them in mind. It's going to be a different way of doing it, and there's going to be more than one way of changing your stats, according to what we got from the live letter. Alright, next question. Hey, Happy. Not a first-time poster, but have some well wishes and good cheer. You have the same, my friend. My question this week is regarding Paladin. How useful is it, generally, to switch stances mid-fight? I ask because boosting auto attack doesn't seem like that much of a giant DPS boost. Okay, let's think of it this way. Shield Oath, you're tanking, right? Whatever. You turn Shield Oath off. Don't even turn Sword Oath on. You turn Shield Oath off. You are now doing, they changed it to 15% reduced damage, right? You are now just automatically, from just turning Sword Oath off, you are now doing 15% more damage. Then, you turn Sword Oath on, all of a sudden now, every 1.8 seconds, you're doing an additional 50 potency. So, Spirits Within is, what, 300 potency at its max? So every 6 auto attacks, it's like you got an extra Spirits Within. Spirits Within on a 30-second cooldown, your auto attacks are... I don't know what the Paladin auto attack rate is, but it's pretty friggin' fast because it's only one weapon. It's probably a standard amount compared to the other ones, just because, you know, all the DPS kind of have a pretty fast auto attack too. So yeah, that adds up. So not only are you not doing 15% less damage, you're doing an extra 50 potency every like 2 seconds. So it's a pretty big deal. It's a pretty big DPS increase. So yeah. So when it comes to, is it worth it? You have to make sure you're doing it smart. Don't just change for no reason. Don't just be like, eh. You know, basically what I do when I'm leveling my Paladin, because I'm trying to get mine to 60 right now for PvP. What I do is I Shield Oath, I do a Rage of Holone combo on the boss. I make sure I use, you know, Circle of Scorn, Spirits Within. I use a Shield Swipe. I do all that, and then I'll switch to Sword Oath for the rest of the fight. And generally after that, I just do Goring Blade and Royal Authority unless I really need to hold aggro. Obviously, when you get to 60 and you're raiding hardcore, it's not that easy. You're not just going to be able to then immediately switch to not using Rage of Holone, whether it's because the boss does physical damage and you want the debuff, or you're main tanking and you need the enmity because you're not a god tier enmity. Either way, yes, it is worth it in short terms. It is more than you seem to think. Just keep that in mind. It's more than you think it is. Next question. Hello, mister. Here, have a rabbit. Yo, so, God, ever since I moved to California, man, I literally, even with battle ping, just sometimes rabbit. And it's like, come on, man. Come on, man. Ugh, it's awful. Important ninja questions. What do you think about ninja mudra macros? Never, ever, 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 ever do that. Never, ever, ever, ever do that. That's what I think. Do you think it would be neat if we could use the rabbit as a range attack? You know what's funny? If you pull the rabbit, people who get a rabbit as a ninja, they have a tendency to just not use it so nobody notices that they fucked up. True story, DPS loss if you don't use the bunny, because the bunny is delaying your next ninjutsu by an extra 5 seconds because you were too embarrassed to actually use it. I know it sucks, but keep that in mind. It technically has some value. It's just preventing you from losing even more DPS. Next question. Hello, this is my first time asking, so as a bonus, you'll get a permanent first-timer status. That doesn't make sense, but welcome to the show. I haven't gotten far with my Anno weapon because I've got demotivated by the relatively high cost the crafted materials have. I know for players this isn't much, but I also have no crafter or gatherer level and barely 5 mil, so this first step would eat up most of my money and I would not be able to complete the next relic step. So my question is, do you think it is fair to have crafted materials a prerequisite for the relic? In my opinion, it would be better to just have to grind a bit more because crafted materials just make it so that only the rich people can get their relics. So I would like to say this: if you don't have a crafting friend, or if you don't have any friends that do gathering, make them. That is how I basically got it done. Like, it was when the thing was brand new, I spent maybe 3 mil on it, and that was when me buying a bunch of pieces of it. I could have had it made probably for about 1 mil if I had been a little bit more patient. And I guarantee you, as much as it's 4 mil for everything, if you were to get the base materials, you would probably not spend nearly that amount. Also, I'd highly recommend looking into making money in other ways. Make sure you're doing things like your Realm Reborn Beast Tribe quest if you haven't leveled those already. Make sure you're doing things like your challenge logs every week. Like, money just piles up in this game. Like, you don't even really have to try to make it. And on top of that, unless you have a plan for that 5 mil, you don't really have anything to use it on either, unless you're planning on buying like 220 crafted gear. Same advice, make sure you have your crafting gathering friends do it for you. So that would just really be overall my advice is animal weapon upgrades coming next week, or this week now, because it's Monday. Yeah, because Sunday doesn't mean it's this week. Shh, be quiet. Shh, you know. So yeah, I would say look into that. And I think that for the question itself, the crafted materials being a part of it, I don't mind. I have a lot of money though, so it's hard for me not to mind. It's hard for me to mind in the first place. I always just looked at it as maybe it almost wants to encourage you to just speak to other people. Learn crafters, learn gatherers, learn how to make money. It's trying to encourage you to look into different aspects of the game that aren't just, hey, I want to increase my item level or combat. No, I want to make money so I can buy potions, so I can buy food, so I can buy these kind of upgrades when they come out. Just keep in mind that they're going to be, that unless you're rich, I wouldn't do animas right away, unless you have a lot of friends that are going to hook you up. Next question. Hey, Mr. Happy, 2 questions for you, and while there's no bonus because I can't think of a good one, you have our respect and admiration. You know what? That is a bonus. Thank you. Oh heck, I have an increased max to 15 Beast Tribe quests per day. So you're giving me 3 more chores to do every day. Thank you. 1. I asked this question a long time ago, forgot I never reposted it, so here it goes. In Stone Vigil, the Ava says random things while you fight them, like to fear me is to love me, and a worm to pluck from an apple. Is there a reason lore-wise why they say this? Random gibberish they're spouting at us? If I'm not mistaken, they're crazy. Because the Avises are actually people most of the time that have turned into an Avis because they've you know, ingested dragon's blood, or the dragon's blood is mixed with theirs. So I believe it's just because they're crazy. When they say a worm to pluck from the apple, it makes me think it's you. You're the worm, and the apple is Ishgard, or something like that. Obviously, Stone Vigil. That was before we were a part of Ishgard, so it's hard to say. But things like that, I think they're just crazy. 2, I keep seeing all of those beautiful food pictures you post on Twitter, and while I know they may be from restaurants, it got me wondering, can you do a cooking with Mr. Happy, aka Mr. Happy Cooking, where you write in recipes and you make them? Mel and I have actually spoken about that. We considered that about 7 months ago. Back when I was visiting in September, and we never got around to it. Actually, we were considering it even before that. We never got into it. I don't remember. It was just because I guess I wasn't comfortable doing it, and also it meant a little bit less privacy. Here, it would be a little bit more interesting to set up because we would definitely be running on Wi-Fi unless we wanted to run like a 60-foot wire throughout the house in order to make sure that we had a connection. I also don't have a laptop, so it would mean moving the whole computer, or it would mean getting a wire long enough for, you know, because then I need a way to view chat, I need a way to monitor the stream, and I'm 2 rooms over, you know, so maybe one day that setup will be possible if we like get a streaming laptop and you know, another camera for it. I'm not opposed to it, actually. I actually wanted to cook recipes from Final Fantasy XIV as well. I'm not a great cook. My prep takes for fucking ever. But it would be funny, and it would be fun, and it would make use of Twitch Creative, and we could put it on YouTube, and people would hopefully enjoy it. So it's not out of the question, just the things to do it properly, we don't yet own. So when we can afford to own those things, because we just moved, maybe. Next question. Hey, Happy. Hope the move went well. It did. I can definitely say there's a few hiccups, but the move itself went pretty friggin' smooth. Expert roulette time again. Same rules as the previous weeks. 1 question. You get 20 seconds. All right, I'm going to go with question number 2 this week. I love this. I love these things. Okay, I've been playing Bard since Phase 3 beta and picked up Machinist when Heaven's Ward dropped, with Bard always being my main, but with new buffs to Machinist, I've noticed that my Machinist is now doing more DPS on the job I've been playing for the past 2 years. It's not a huge difference, but it's higher DPS nonetheless. The question is it viable to have 2 main jobs? Yes. Bard and Machinist is probably one of the few slots in the game where having 2 mains is very normal. Black Mage and Summoner is the other one, but it's less common than the Bard Machinist route. Just because most people's like, okay, Black Mage Summoner, just go Black Mage. And it's like, but I want to play Summoner. But you can play Summoner, but it's like, whatever. So either way, you know, that slot isn't as important, which one you have. But for Bard and Machinist, a lot of people like change. Oh, I want to be Bard this fight. No, I want to be Machinist this fight. So it changes quite a bit. I'd say that you can do both, definitely. Next one. Hey, Happy Haps. First time asking, but long time watcher. Mostly of your YouTube stuff, though I do support your Twitch channel as well. Thank you, my friend. So I have some of your favorite ice cream as well as some stuff Sly gets from his United Kupo Dragoon font. I like how you replaced Negro with Kupo. I don't even know. You can't, it's not like you can't say the word Negro. You just can't say any of the really bad words that are extremely racist, and nobody should be using them. Sly does this all the time, though. That's just the fact that you play. I'm done. Alright, let's move on. So me and my 4 friends are interested in starting a static on my server, Marlboro. I know that server. And was wondering what the best raid composition is for a static. So here's the thing. If you're not raiding seriously, there's only a few rules I would put in place. Don't have 2 of the same job. You can, even still when I'm saying this, you can do it. But that is my #1 recommendation. Don't have 2 of the same job. And have a warrior as one of the tanks. And have a scholar as one of the healers, which it looks like you have. You have a white mage, a scholar, a dragoon. Oh, I see what the problem is. I and my friend both main dragoon. Oh, hey, my alarm just went off to wake up. Stop. There we go. Yeah, other than a barn. Okay, so you're going with double dragoon automatically. I said it was okay, and I just wouldn't recommend it. That's fine. I would say machinist. Bring machinist. Bring a black mage. And then bring either a paladin or a dark knight, and you're good to go. Whoop band. Next question. Hey, Mr. Happy, got quite a few questions regarding the lore and regarding future job class. I have a scroll that gives you your ninja, all the edges ninjutsus from Final Fantasy IV. Okay, I'm just going to take, I don't know if you combine them all to like multiple questions. I'm just going to take one, though, as soon as I can identify what that one is. How'd you feel if they introduced Blue Mage but combined it with Beastmaster? I wouldn't mind that. I've actually suggested something very similar, where they become the monster in order to use their skills. Mimics moves of wild animals, enemies to attack. Yeah, I think Gao. Yeah, Gao from Final Fantasy VI. I mean, you pretty much hit it right on the nail. And you have a bunch of spoiler questions here, but there's a ton of questions I still have to get to. So I'm just gonna take that first question and answer that. You can try answering the other ones on other weeks. All right. So thank you for asking those questions. Alright, I think I'm going to be doing that for the rest because I really want to get through this faster. So, hey there, Haps. Hope you had a good time moving. So, since you have asked for questions, oh plenty, here are 2 very different ones. I'm going to take the second one right here, which is right here. With this patch introducing the Feast, it also introduced new 205 PvP gear and then a shockingly low item level cycle of 150 for the fight. My question is, do you think that PvP gear morale material is ever going to matter in PvP? I feel like they want it to. They don't want that to go away, but they also have no means of making it fair while introducing those mechanics. So I have a feeling morale will eventually do something. If not, I don't know why they don't just say fuck it and get rid of it, because it's useless right now anyway, because you're not going to be wearing an item level 110 piece. None of the item level 110 stuff has 40 morale, so you're going to be at an item level disadvantage anyway. So everyone's wearing at least an item level 150 piece of gear. So I don't know. I hope they do something with it eventually, whether that's get rid of it or actually use it. I hope something conclusive happens with those aspects of the game. So that's my answer. Next question. Hey, Hap, so I know your stance is we don't need more abilities next expansion. Honestly, I agree. Some of the rotations would be just insane. Anything new would be either obsolete, current, or, well, become very difficult to manage. What are your thoughts on what may be done in the next expansion? What would you like to see? So what I'm expecting is they're going to rework some of the current abilities to be more exciting at higher levels, like Feint, for example. At the same time, the other option is, if they did add more, let's say they did this. So you know how Guild Wars 2, when you press the same button, it turns into a combo? What if they did that with our combos? I mean, here's the thing. I don't know how that would work with an Aeolian, a Dancing Edge, and an Armor Crush combo. Would that be 111, 222, 333? Would there have to be a mix of buttons? I would imagine it would be, here's your full Armor Crush combo, here's your full Dancing Edge combo, and then Shadow Fang again. Like, there's literally 4 different paths that go off of well, actually there's 3 different paths that go off of Gust Slash and 2 different paths that go off of Dancing Edge. Would they have some sort of path system regarding those combos in order to reduce the number of buttons we need to press? I don't know. That's one solution to adding new abilities, making room on the hotbar. I don't know if they're going to do it. It would be kind of weird. I expect them to be more traits that affect abilities as opposed to new abilities. That is what I think that they will ultimately do. But Yoshifi scared me at this live letter where he said, yeah, we're seeing, we haven't definitively decided what's going on with new abilities just yet. I was like, did you just acknowledge that new abilities are even coming? Fuck. Next question. Hey, Haps, congrats on moving, so I have a bottle of A Realm Reborn Red as a housewarming gift. Thank you, my good friend. My girlfriend is about to start casual raiding Static with some newer players in our free company. This does not include me as I am already part of another Static and have been raiding consistently for 2 years. To the best of my knowledge, no one in her group has experience with raids and maybe not even in other MMOs. What advice would you give her to a group starting out and what some early pitfalls of raiding that they should be aware of? So, early advice. Make sure people can beat the A5 Savage dummy, the DPS, the 4 DPS, and the 2 tanks. Should hopefully be able to beat that. Even the 2 tanks is not that important because they're just going to sit in DPS stance the whole time on that thing. So make sure your 4 DPS can beat the A5 Savage dummy if they're around full item level 220. That makes sense. If this is the kind of group that doesn't even have like Sephiroth beat yet, do it for Sephiroth then. Make sure you do the dummies first so people can be aware on if there's something they need to practice. And that's the best way of getting somebody to practice without actually telling them like, hey, you really need to improve. It's make them go do the dummy for the fight you're about to do. If they can't beat it, then they should be able to say to themselves, oh wow, I couldn't beat that. I should really do something. I need to get advice. I need to look at videos. It honestly has spurred so many people to come to my chat and ask for advice. I would highly recommend doing that to get them in, get them in their own head, make them think, oh shit, I need to do better. Sometimes people get really emotional and it fucks with them, but do it anyway. Also make sure that people understand that this is a time investment. It's not going to be quick. You're going to be doing it frequently, and that everyone just needs to chill out. Don't take it too seriously. You're not in a serious raid group. They're casual. They ain't raided really before. Just take it easy. Make sure you're paying attention at some point, but don't be like really high strung about it. Not in a group like this. Alright, next question. Hey Haps, for whatever reason it really tickles me every time you say Jerskogul. It's one of those words that every time I hear I have to repeat and laugh, similar to a Pavlovian response. Would you say Jerskogul 10 times in a row as fast as you can just so I can laugh my fucking head off? Jerskogul, 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 Jerskogul. I'm not gonna lie, that did not even sound like Jerskogul by the time I was done with it. Anyway, moving on. Hello, Mr. Happy. I got a quick question about bards. The question goes, do you have any idea how much accuracy a bard needs for current content? So flank accuracy is most of the time what a bard will need. Sometimes they need frontal accuracy. Currently, I believe it's 650 for A5 Savage, and it goes all the way up to 713 for flank accuracy in A8 Savage. Which means if you have crafted gear, you probably have way more than that. Just keep that in mind. And then Sephiroth needs like the same as A4 Savage, which was like 645 or something like that. I don't even know. And if you want frontal accuracy, I think you need like 725 or something like that. Excuse me, for A8 Savage, I think you need like 683 for like A5 Savage or something like that. So it's in this basically between 650 and 725, depending on which piece of content you're doing. You shouldn't ever need more than 725. I think. I know 705 is the accuracy cap for tanks with tank stance in A8 Savage. So I think 725 is what it is without tank stance. Next question. Hey, Happy. Long-time viewer, first-time asker. So I have a K-pop bonus because you can never have enough trashy K-pop in your life. True story. My old raid group, the one that I was in for 3.0 and 2.4, Team K-pop within Elysium. Great name. I have a question about monk gear. I've been trying to figure out what the optimal final gear set, and I would think it's narrowed to 2 basic steps, which I'll link below. In case you don't have the time to actually look at them yourself, the first one has a lot more crit, but comes at the price of also having a ton of skill speed, over 100 more than the second set, which is less crit and skill speed, but more determination. I've run the math, and the first one is superior by 3.8 points, but I'm worried about getting TP started by having a huge amount of skill speed. So here's what I'll say. A5, you literally have no concern. Do you know why? You just go in. Boss makes you, a lot of the times you lose uptime on the boss. You're forced to lose uptime on the boss. It's in the final stretch where you might run into an issue. And even then, purification. Save Purification for situations like this where you not only have high skill speed, but it's a long string of attacking with no breaks. Also make sure you're communicating to your group that you'll need the TP. Otherwise, I don't even worry about it. Take the one that's 3.8 more. A6, you have breaks in between every boss. Within the same bosses, there's breaks most of the time. Except for Swindler. I think Swindler's the only one where you don't... Swindler and Vortex are the two where you don't stop. Even Vortex, you'll still get a few ticks of TP back because of things like compressed water and the lightning. So, and then A7, sometimes you get captured, sometimes you get pulled in, you get pulled away, you can't move, you can't attack. Like, it's just, there's so many situations where you just stop attacking and generate TP back in current content. I wouldn't worry about it. Take the one that's with all the skill speed, take the first one. Next question, hello Happy, longtime viewer, second time asker, welcome back. This might seem like a silly question, but how do I make friends? I'm slowly turning into Sly with a 54% win rate in the feast that's only getting lower. So is there a good way to find a group of people to PvP with? Keep in mind that you maybe find a good group of people to PvP with. You would be doing light party instead of solo queue. It's very different. Also, how do you make friends? Dude, you just gotta join link shells and shit and just talk. Just make sure that if, like, you know, just, I don't know, just make sure you talk to people. That's all it is. Sly's got the advice for you. Use your words. Use your goddamn words, okay? And you should be fine. Just gotta look for social link shells and whatnot, and social free companies. Whatever it is you need, you gotta look for those things. Next question. Hola, Mr. Feliz. Second time asking, so no bonus for today, but you can have my commendation for your parade chocobo. In preparation for the new animal weapon steps, what content do you expect Square Enix will have us grinding, and what would you expect? What would you recommend we should have ready beforehand? You pretty much nail on the head. Always have Gil ready. I don't think you'll ever need MGP. Grand Company seals, hunt marks. Even wolf marks, I wouldn't rule that out at this point with the feast being as popular as it is. Make sure your beast tribe's leveled. Make sure you have, I think that's it. It's really just resources that are currently available. If they add a new resource, there's nothing you can really do about it. Like if they add like light, like they did with the Nexus, that's not, Gil's not going to buy you more light. You know what I mean? So those are just any expendable resource that you can get. I wouldn't expect scripts. I wouldn't expect Manderville Gold Saucer points, but everything else I would probably expect. Alright, next question. Hello, Mr. Happy. Second time questioner here. For reading my question, you now get free access to a code of the game's second expansion, Seeds of Cronus. God damn it. Do you think we'll ever go completely back in time where the Allagans lived in some capacity? Maybe an expansion pack dedicated to the idea? I hate time travel so much. Wings of the Goddess, I feel like, did not do it well. I did not like it. It was like cool for a little bit, and then you realize that it was like, how the fuck? This doesn't make sense. Nothing that's happening here makes any sense at all. So I expect it will happen. Actually, go back in time to the Allagans. Like, we're so obsessed with them. I don't want it to happen though. So I'll just say yes, I think it'll happen. No, I don't want it to happen. All right, next question. Hey, Happy. Here's my once in a while question for you. Also, since the last time I asked the question, you didn't get a bonus, have a free ninja weapon of your choice from any raid existing and soon to come. So I'll just take the fucking 3.4 weapon. Yay. So my question for you, thinking about 4.0, since I agree we don't need more abilities, do you think 4.0 would be a good point to give us skill trees? I made a video about that, about skill trees and the potential aspects of it. I don't think Yoshi P will do it. He seems completely against it. And for the same reason I'm generally against skill trees is because people figure out what's the best and they go with that. That's it. That's what it comes down to. And if you're not playing that, you're a fucking asshole. That's how the internet will treat you. Happened in World of Warcraft, will happen here. If they give us different specs where it's like literally, okay, when you're in this mode, you do these things. When you're in this mode, you have a different playstyle and whatever. Same numbers, different playstyle, whatever. That's more possible, but literally letting us make choices is probably not going to turn out too well. Also, besides Dark Souls 3, what's the next game you hope to play before 15? Salt and Sanctuary. I still want to finish that. I'm going to play Adrift today. There's like one or two other games I can't remember. Oh, Star Ocean. Star Ocean is a big one. And there's one other one that I can't remember it right now, so I'll get back to you on that. Oh, right, it was Bravely Default. That was the other one, because I still haven't played Default, which means I still haven't played Second, and I have no idea when I'm going to get to either of them. Hey, Mr. Happy, love the show. My question is, what do you think will be the next beast tribe? Goblins. That's all I'll say. Second question is it Square Enix's responsibility to ensure the community is being friendly? They can try to moderate it, but it's the internet. You can't ever force people to be friendly on the internet. Doesn't happen. Those are two really quick questions. So those are both my answers. Next question. Hi, Happy. I hope your day is going well. First time asker here, so you can have a bonus of whatever you want. It's morning, so how about some coffee? My question is this: as someone who has only ever picked DPS classes and is looking to branch out in either tanking or healing, which class would you think would be easiest for me to learn? Paladin is very easy to learn. It can be very frustrating as you're leveling it. I always recommend Marauder into Warrior as a good tanking option. Otherwise, Conjurer into Scholar is very solid because it is a very, very low learning curve when leveling up Scholar. I have very little experience tanking, absolutely none. I get a little nervous. Yeah, if you're going to go with Healer, go Scholar. If you're going to go with Tank, go Warrior. Just because it's Warrior. Fell Cleave. Next question. Hey, hello. 2 quick ones. If they're very quick, then I can do them. 1. You think we'll have an expansion based around Authard? Not anytime soon. Alamigo next. Maybe Authard eventually. I'm glad you asked for Authard. A lot of people for that question, they ask, what about Doma? When are we going back to Doma? Doma is gone, okay? They literally wiped it off the face of the earth. It's gone. But Doma is in the Garlean controlled area of Authard, which I believe we could go and take at some point. And second, 3.2 storyline spoiler. You guys know how it works. When this comes up, also we remove it from the screen like we did before. Do you think Ysayle is really dead, or as you can say, I don't think Ysayle's dead. I think we're gonna see her in some. Well, I know. Let me rephrase. I think she's dead. But I think her mind and her will is still within the ether, and it's very likely that her ether at some point will be given to Hydaelyn to fuse, and then at that point, I think she will die like permanently. I think we'll see her once or twice more. And then she'll just be dead. Completely dead. Like, just, no, Ysayle. No, stay with us. No. Kind of like that. Alright, next question. Looks like they're 2 very long ones, so I'll probably just take one or the other. I'll take a quick look at them. Sup, Bre? I got 2 kind of related questions this time, but I saw there hasn't been many questions so far, so I suppose it's alright. Alright, let's see. So we have Machinist question, and we have, that leads me to my second question in general. So your first question leads to the second question, so I think the second question will be more interesting, because the first question is about Machinists. That leads me to my second question. My static leader and a few others have been nudging our bard to go Machinist. We're 1 inch away from killing A6 Savage, and we're miles ahead of the Enraged, but they want to be prepared for A8, since many bard mains in the world tier groups have been switching the Machinist for the DPS checks. Our bard, however, hasn't even leveled Machinist to 16, has no interest in the job. I'm personally not a fan of making someone play something they don't like, especially if it isn't even necessary, and you hit the nail on the head right there. But you know how people are, they see world first groups do it, and they think it's the most optimal. Do you think that Square Enix has gone too far with Machinist buffs? No, because a lot of the time, like, you'll notice the difference if you're really looking at the numbers, but when you're doing a fight, it's so not necessary to be that far ahead, especially as you get more gear, that people won't notice it, and it will be even less relevant. It's only relevant when you're really trying to push the DPS checks. So for things like Brute Justice in A8, first of all, the DPS checks there are all short DPS checks. Like, they're not like the raid-wide DPS check is there, but it's all like short DPS checks within a fight itself. Onslaughter, you want to kill him right as Discoid is ending. You want to make sure you're able to burst Blaster down ASAP before Vortexer joins and you wipe. You want to make sure that you're just going through that phase generally fast. You want to make sure that you're possibly not getting the second flamethrower from the second phase of Brute Justice, from the second return of Brute Justice, where he does it at like 50% after he's done his entire rotation. He goes up, he does all the attacks, he comes back, you do that again. Yeah, you want to like be finishing that around the first flamethrower. As long as you're doing these things, it doesn't matter what job composition you bring. Fucking people had bards, people have done it with astrologians, people have done it with paladins. Like, it doesn't matter, you know. Fuck it. Let him play bard. Let him play bard. Let him play bard. Alright, next question. Dear Mr. Happy 1227, patch 3.2 has fixed a lot of problems with statics benching or outright banning many jobs like Paladin, Machinist, Monk, Astrologian, and Summoner. There's still some problems with Astros and Summoners though. Majority of statics still prefer the tried and true White Mage and Scholar combo rather than deal with Astrologian's inferior healing and RNG card mechanics. Summoners, according to Stone Sky C, are the 5th highest DPS job ahead of Bard and Machinist, but are behind Ninja and Black Mage. Just simply blow Summoner out of the water and single target DPS. They don't really offer that much utility other than a battle res, which becomes a huge DPS loss. Is there anything else Square Enix can do for Astros and Summoners other than telling people to roll White Mage, Scholar, Black Mage instead? Because lore gear is now not job exclusive like it is esoteric gear. So first of all, same answer as before. You can still beat all the content with those jobs. Second of all, I'm surprised. I see Summoners do really, really well. Not like I don't know. I see Summoners do pretty fucking good. If there's ever more than one target, as soon as there's more than one target, Pain Flare, Death Flare, fucking everything, and that's it. It's done. Like, the fight is over. Let's see here. Something will summon out of the water. I mean, what are they going to do? They just gave them more potency on Ruin 3. On Stone Sky Sea, I believe you can rip that thing to shreds by just spamming Ruin 3 until you hit like 3 or 4 KMP and then doing your normal rotation. After, well, you should be applying dots while you're doing that, but even though it rips through your MP, a lot of people have recommended doing that for Stone Sky Sea. Or even just doing that. I think some fights, they even recommend doing it. I don't know. I don't really think they need to. I just don't think... I think people are looking too much at the World First groups and saying we have to do that. It happens every time. I always tell people, just fucking take whatever you want and go in there and be good at the game and you'll beat it. And that's it. That's all you need to know. Yes, having certain jobs has certain benefits, but as you get more gear, that becomes less and less relevant. Just remember that. These jobs are fine. You can play them. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. All right, next question. We only have, I think, 3 more questions left, so we're making good time here. We're making good time. Greetings from the not-so-sunny UK, Happy. Oh, I've got a few very quick questions, maybe a little late. Do you think we'll be seeing a new higher level of gear from the Diadem? Yes, I do at some point. In 3.3, I expect we'll have a higher tier gear in the Diadem. Also, what do you think could be done to make it more relevant? I mean, you get materia from there. All they need to do is make it so it's not so fucking boring to get the materia, and bam, we're set. All right, next question. Hello, Mr. Happy. How are you doing? How are you doing? Don't ask about me. Everyone asks about me. I want to know about you. I'm a first-time asker here, so I have a 30% discount on anything on the market board for an hour. I don't think the seller is going to be very pleased with that. With the recent announcement that Summoners getting Eggy Glamour implemented as of patch 3.4, do you feel that Summoners should have to earn the Glamour, similar to how Summoners earn the rights to summon Ifrit Titan Garuda through challenging the Eggies? I'm not opposed to it. It gives the Summoners a little bit more content to do. I think most of them at this point would be, oh my god, I waited so fucking long. Fuck it. I've beaten all the primals in the main story. Fuck it. That's how I did it. I wouldn't mind it, but that's a lot of resources just to ensure that they can get a glamour. So I don't know. I mean, maybe if they added special glamours, like, hey, if you have a Garuda Eggy and then you go beat Garuda Extreme, your Garuda Eggy can be made more extravagant. That I'd be okay with, but probably not making unique fights, because that's a lot of resources to add in for something pretty minor, in my opinion. And finally, we have a very long final question. Hey, Haps, been a while, so here, a glitch with 3.25 that causes the Boar's Fate and Quenching the Flames to respawn every 1 minute and 45 seconds. Respawn every 1 and 45. Fuck that, and have some mythology jump. This was troll as motherfucking shit. Now let me just rip that band-aid right off the Harry Potter arm and get to the point. My free company wants to make their very first raid group with me, whose only experience raiding was Gordius, where my raid group disbanded due to the dreaded A3 Savage Pepsi Man. The details, feel free to read off screen, bolded TLDR. She wants a casual kind of raid, most of the members, party fighting raid, might turn out bad depending on more serious static, but since my reverse right and raiding with Gordius didn't even last long, pressure's real. If you did Gordius 1 and 2, you'll be fucking fine, man. Let me tell you that. You'll be fucking fine. Now, I know that you're more or less a hardcore raider, not a raid leader, and you're probably not the best person to ask this, but with the raid experience as someone who makes video guides, TLDR, what tips do you have for a first-timer in this situation? Alright, let me just make sure I understand. You mean, what the situation is that you've just been recruited to a raid group and you think you're going to underperform. Don't think you're going to underperform, because then you're going to be all in your head and you're going to be like, oh fuck, don't fuck this up, oh shit, I fucked that up. No, don't do it. No, just fucking play. Just play your job the way that you know how to play your job. If you're afraid that you don't know how to play it that well, go practice it. That's all you got to do. You're overthinking it a lot. It's just a video game. It's an online raid in a video game. Just go and do your thing. Be responsible, look to improve, and you will be okay. That is my advice. Everyone, thank you for watching this week's episodes of Mondays with Mr. Happy. Remember, over on Twitch, we are working our way towards our 1,000 sub goal. We're hovering in the 920 to 930 range right now. The fall off from patch 3.2 has just started to kick in. And, you know, anyone who wants to come by the stream, check it out. We've been playing quite a few different things lately. Dark Souls 2, Sultan Sanctuary, Dark Souls 3 soon. We've been playing Final Fantasy 14. We just wrapped up Bling Soul over there. We got plenty of things to watch. And I'm always here to talk to you guys and answer questions. So don't forget, you can come over to the live stream to ask questions and whatnot. Also, here's the videos again. I believe I had it on this side. Yeah, here's the videos again, the very few that I was actually able to put out this week. And hopefully you enjoy those as well. But anyway, everyone, thank you for watching this episode. I appreciate the continued support. Be sure to ask your questions for next week. In the description of the video, you can find the link to the DreamNet forums where you can ask your questions. Anyway, thank you for asking again. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Until then, take care.